Can dogs eat pickles? In general, pickles are not very popular with dogs, but you have the exceptional dog that sniffs and wants some. And, pickles don't exactly have the most positive reputation in the dog owner community, for reasons that we will discuss in video. So, you might ask, can dogs eat pickles? And are pickles good for dogs? So can dogs eat pickles or not? After all, pickles are just cucumbers, and we all know that cucumbers are good for dogs, so pickles must be good for dogs too, right? Wrong. The answer to this question is, it depends on how many times and on the pickle itself. One type of pickle in the right amounts can be a very safe addition to your dog's diet, while another type of pickle in any amount can be a very bad addition to your dog's diet. Here's why. Pickles by themselves are not toxic or poisonous to dogs, but they are known to be very high in sodium, vinegar and spices, all of which have the potential to be very harmful to dogs. Where does all the sodium come from? Well, that's what pickled means. It means soaking something in salt water with other things like vinegar and spices for a period of time. But there is still some good news, and there is a certain form of pickles that you can go ahead and give to your dog. How can dogs eat pickles? When it comes to feeding your dog pickles, there are many options and varieties of pickled cucumbers you can choose from, and of all these options and varieties, unsalted, unsweetened and unspiced pickles are the best. The best route to take when feeding your dog the occasional pickle is to feed your dog unsalted pickles, as this will ensure that they don't get more sodium than their body can handle. You should also go with sweet pickles instead of salty and sour pickles, which are usually prepared with much less concentrated brine solution. If you can look for jars of sweet pickles with very low levels of sodium and no added spices, then you are ready. The question of feeding aneth pickles is also often raised, but the problem is, again, with the high levels of sodium and spices found in aneth pickles, so we should say no to that as well. How many pickles can dogs eat? As we have already established, the main problem with gherkins is the high salt content, which in sufficient quantities can be fatal for dogs. So, feeding your dog a few slices of pickle that are cut into small pieces around 1 to 2 times a week at best is fine, but don't feed your dog more than that. You want to make sure you cut all the pickles you want to feed your dog into small slices, then give your dog some of those slices. Never give your dog a whole pickle to eat at one time, as it is too big to handle all at once and there is a very big risk that he will choke trying to eat it. If you were to make a habit of frequently feeding your dog pickles, it would lead to the accumulation of sodium levels in their body at dangerous levels and develop a tendency in your dog where they now expect to be fed pickles on a base frequency. Your dog is already getting all the sodium his body needs and all the sodium his body can absorb from the dog food you buy him. Any human food you choose to feed your dog must be very low in sodium. Pickles are by no means a type of food that should be a staple in your dog's diet, and your dog should not eat pickles at all, so always remember that. And, you should also know that feeding your dog something like pickles leads to a greater chance of having digestive problems, stomach upset, which is a very normal reaction that dogs' bodies make when unusual foods they are used to eating get into their system. When are pickles bad for dogs? To begin with, pickles that have been cooked with onions and garlic should never be given to dogs. Onions can lead to anemia in dogs, so see this article on onions and this article on garlic for more information on both topics. You should also note that if your dog has been on a very low sodium diet, you should never give him pickles under any circumstances, as this could deprive him of his diet and lead to very serious problems such as blood pressure and heart disease. Are pickles good for dogs? While not necessarily the most nutritious food, pickles do have some benefits to offer. They can be high in fiber. They contain a good amount of vitamins, such as vitamin A and vitamin K. They contain a decent amount of minerals, such as potassium, manganese, iron, and calcium. However, compared to the high-quality dog food that you should feed your dog and other human foods that dogs may eat from time to time, the health benefits that pickles have to offer your dog are very negligible. If the only reason you are considering feeding your dog pickles is to give them a feast, there are many better options you could follow, those that are much healthier for your dog and those that your dog will enjoy much more than a pickle. Even so, why not consider giving your dog a simple cucumber? Cucumbers are much better for dogs than pickles because the nutrients found in cucumbers are often lost when the cucumber becomes a pickle. And, if you're worried that your dog might not like cucumbers as much as pickles, only humans can tell the difference between the two, and most of us would rather eat pickles than cucumbers because pickles are much tastier with other foods, but to dogs, they both mean the same thing, a treat to have once in a while. Can dogs drink pickle juice? What about the pickle juice left in the jar after the process of turning cucumbers into pickles has been completed? Is it safe for dogs to drink? The answer to that is a huge no, because it is just water with large amounts of salt, vinegar and/or spices, and why would you ever want these ingredients in your dog's body if all they cause is stomach upset and health risks? So, what you should do is get rid of any pickle juice that is left over and never let your dog get any closer, as it is one of the last things they should drink.